live. No, we're not.
We're not. Now
Oh, we're live. There we are. We might have been like it. There's some kind of a delay sometimes. Glenn Morshower, how are you, bro?
I am so well that it's almost unfair to others. Almost being the key word, Ken. I understand that you were the recipient of not 50, but rather $75 of Chipotle gift cards, which I know you're going to put right to use because you, like me, are a fan of Chipotle.
I'm a huge fan, and Glenn, I gotta, um, just remind you that it would be awesome if you
If
shared
I
this
shared
out.
it out, yeah, I'll share it out.
I don't know how to do
Hey,
that
where
without.
is Ernest tonight?
Hey, look,
Ernest.
look, my brother said that. Look, Doug said that took forever.
Oh, that's funny. There's Roxy.
Hey, I should have my brother get on here and introduce you. You'd like my brother, I think. Maybe not.
Yeah, I'd like
Hey,
to meet him. Let me.
hey, look here's Doug Wing, and Glenn, I gotta introduce you. Doug, this is Glenn Morshower. Glenn, this is
Hello,
Doug
Doug.
Wing. Doug Wing. Have you ever heard of Little Giant Ladders?
No.
Come on.
Do you want me to lie?
No, Little
have
Giant.
not.
Okay, so you got to buy a Little Giant ladder. You'll thank me. So Doug Wing's family, his father, is the founder of Little Giant Ladders. It's they sell them in Lowe's, and
So
they
is it
sell
like
them
a
in,
large ladder that is extremely collapsible?
it is. Yep, there you go. It is,
Okay.
and he's going to be on my show at the end of this month. And
Nice. Well, that's certainly
he,
a worthwhile thing to have around any house.
dude, I have two of them. One is a bigger Little Giant ladder, and then I have one that's a little three-step Little Giant ladder with a thing that pops up as I don't even know what it's called, but it's really, really, really cool. So yeah, he's like his. I can't believe you don't know what a Little Giant. Apparently, you don't watch QVC either.
This is a truth.
There, ladders.com. He just put it up there. That's a great website. Oh, it's amazing. And they have like Little Giant makes this. I'm gonna go get one. I was texting with Doug the other day. They make this what's it called, Doug? It's a retractable ladder. It's like a I can't my brain's not working. How do you say it? Like it collapses down into this like 1 2 foot 3 foot little thing, and then it's a collapsible extension ladder. That's what it's called.
I love it.
It's really cool. You look like you love it. You weren't. You did.
What? How up and down can one bounce about a ladder?
Telescoping ladder.
It's a
That's
telescope ladder. Well, I got it, meaning that it keeps doing this. Yeah,
dude, it is so cool.
I turned Carolyn onto that same concept on my wedding night. I did. I said it works just like a telescope.
Thanks for stopping by. I don't know what happened to our co-star. Oh my gosh. Oh, yes. My brother used to have one. That's where I've seen it. I couldn't remember
Ken, we all used to have one.
Oh my gosh. Oh my Lord, have mercy. Yes, they have some really, really cool, really cool ladders. But so Doug is one of my heroes. Doug said, "Oh boy, yeah." So
here's Sean with us tonight, and Scott Ricard's with us.
Scott Ricard. We got Larry.
You got to introduce me to some folks that I don't know here.
Well,
Larry Schneider, always a fixture.
Weldon Whitehurst, like you to meet him.
Yeah, because I've never heard of Weldon.
Look, Susan said, "What did I walk into?" Oh, that's so funny. So, Robert Brooker, what's happening, my brother? You know Robert. Let's see, who else do we have on here that you don't know?
What kind of mischief?
Nikki Alt.
Okay.
Sandy Lewis, dear friends of mine.
These are all buds of yours. Nice.
Let's see. You know Jose Garza.
Yes.
My brother wants to play. Dude, let's go play golf, man. Let's play tomorrow. Unless you're scared. He's a professional golfer, by the way. So, so I can't. Let's cut Susan. Please don't keep him going. Oh Lord!
You know what I'm doing right now?
No, I don't.
I'm expressing my delayed excitement about the ladder. I just want you to know it was real. Apparently, it just didn't communicate itself the way you needed it to be communicated. So I thought I'd show you what my internal condition is actually looking like right now, because it very much is this way.
I'm going to find you're going to love this, by the way. This is something that Doug showed me is on the front of their.
Hey, dude, Doug says he's playing in a big money tournament on Sunday. That's cool.
I don't.
Hey, good luck with that, Doug. I hope you win, man.
Doug Wing. I want you to see this this sign that they put on the building that his father wrote. It's so cool, man. It's so cool. But I want to show just this sign. Can I? Do you care if I show this?
I have nowhere to be, Ken. It's your birthday and we're together.
Well, it's officially in Ohio, not my birthday anymore, but I say we should just continue celebrating it, dude.
The state of Texas does not recognize your birthday being over for another 40 minutes.
Beautiful. That's perfect. Here it is. This is awesome, dude. I'm going to hang on. If it'll open on my computer's moving awfully slow right now.
Kimberly Hausman from Missouri.
Kimberly Hausman or Hausman?
Correct. That would be Hausman.
Would it be Hausman or Hausman?
Yes, it would be. It'd be Hausman, I'm guessing. But
is that German?
She can let us know. It also would be Missouri if you're from there.
Missouri.
Instead of Missouri.
Right. Okay, here, I'm going to share this. Haas. See? Haas.
Wait, what did you put it up there again? I missed it.
Hold on there. Look at that.
Well, that is the essence of the extra mile, Ken.
Is that amazing?
That's the essence. That is the essence of the extra mile. This is what we have been coaching in our program for 35 years now. And we do build the person. Right. And in doing so, you do build both. There's no question. You know, before you jumped on tonight, when I was live with Chris Roush, we were talking about the problem with a downstream fix. And that basically anytime you fix something downstream, you are addressing the symptom and you're not fixing the problem. Right. So when something seems to be out of whack in our lives, we rush to address it. And there are times when medically, for example, the first order of business is to stop the bleeding. So you do have to address it downstream as well. But if you're going to do any permanent repair on whatever the problem is, there you are. Do you want me to join you? Watch this.
I think you actually are frozen, dude.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Well, then that's weird.
Oh, no,
there you go. Now you're moving again.
What in the world?
So just the idea that when there is an issue of any kind, we want to look at what's causing the issue and then fix that. And then the issue goes away. So it's the exact same thing that they're talking about in that. Will you forward that plaque to me? I really love that. Hello, Tammy.
Isn't that beautiful? His father wrote that, and he had that put on the front of the building, and they have hundreds and hundreds of employees. It's a huge company. It's a big company.
I have I know of a grave where I thought the epitaph on a headstone was one of the more poignant I've ever seen, which said, "I tried to tell you I was sick."
Oh my God.
Someone put that on their headstone. It's pretty funny.
Wow. That is funny, dude.
So it's yo birthday. What do you want to talk
No.
about on yo birthday? Yes, it
Somebody
is.
said what was the
Do you see all this
best?
space around me right here? This space is still your birthday here in Texas. And I'm in it.
Okay.
This is the space and I'm in it.
Okay.
So what do you want to
Roxy
talk
said,
about on your
what's the
birthday?
coolest birthday present you ever received?
I guess that's
Wow.
throughout his entire life, Roxy.
Or is that for anybody on the stream? Because everybody here has a birthday, including you. What's the coolest gift you've ever received, Glenn?
Life.
I mean, that's initially a pretty cool.
I mean, that was my birthday gift. Was
Yeah.
life. And I've never found anything cooler than life. I wasn't trying to be clever. That's what came to mind. Is that's the best gift I've ever been given.
Look, my brother thinks that.
Oh, Doug feels that he is the best gift you've ever received. Well, that's cool. That's nice.
Hey, you know what his favorite Willie Nelson song is? I
What's
am
that?
always on my mind.
That's funny. Oh, I got a room full of actors that'll enjoy hearing that.
He's like, I'm not much, but I'm all I think about.
Right, exactly. Now that I'm done talking about me, what do you think of me? Right, that's another one of those.
He said, shut it. Shut it.
Oh,
So
did you
funny.
see Susan's? Susan wants to know what's the worst birthday present you ever
Oh,
received.
life.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
running the spectrum when you decide that life is both the best thing you've ever been given and the worst.
It's a paradox, okay? I'm just saying.
Oh, I certainly appreciate the multi-dimensional nature of life, but that's funny, brother. That's funny.
he said his sisters. Oh my gosh. So the best birthday present I've ever received.
And the worst. Let's not overlook that.
Man, the worst, as Sean says, are we still talking about ladders? Man. The worst I don't remember because I was probably incredibly drunk and probably wouldn't be able to talk about it on the air. So the best man, I really don't know. My wife had a really cool birthday party, surprise-ish
Mm-hmm.
party for me a couple years ago. That was pretty cool.
I know
My
what one of
brother
the
was
coolest
there.
gifts you've ever received is. I don't know if it's the best one, but one of the coolest gifts you received this year for your birthday is your ability to grow the Empire State Building out of the top of your head.
That is a pretty cool gift. I'm not
That's
gonna lie.
that's a cool gift right there.
I can even position it wherever I want, like just by
Did you
moving my
get any weird phone calls today at all, brother?
Oh, I told you. Thanks for reminding me, Glenn. All right, here. I got the funniest voicemail message I've ever received in my life today. Drop a 1 if you want to hear this voicemail message.
Oh, I can't get enough of your request to drop a 1. Hey,
Drop
Donna's joined us tonight.
a 1. Donna! Ken, I think I know the answer, but are you very open about alcohol with your family? Yes, they're all alcoholics, and I try to encourage them to go to meetings. I'm just kidding. No, they got me into recovery. So yes, I'm very, very open about it. Very open about it. my brother, I could go in and block him from this stream since he's obviously drinking again.
I'm drinking in honor of your birthday, just so you know.
Thank you. I
Here it
appreciate
is.
it. Vodka?
No, just having a little water. I'm having a little Fiji tonight.
Okay. Listen.
Fiji fest.
Yeah, Fiji. Oh. We don't want that to go. Okay. Stop doing that. Okay. Who wants to? Okay, we got a bunch of ones. Let's go. Here we go. Listen to this funny voicemail message.
Listen, I know it was very unlikely that I will be able to reach you because it's your birthday. Everybody in the world want to talk to Ken Walsh today. Everybody want to tell him how special he is, how he has changed their life, and I am no exception because ever since I was a little child, I wanted to meet Ken Walsh. I wanted to do two things. I told my mother growing up in Guatemala, I told her that I wanted to meet Ken Walsh someday in the United States and that I wanted to be an Oscar Mayer winner. And I have experienced both already, so my life is very, very comfortable. And I'm going to close this message by saying this. Feliz cumpleaños, Tati. Feliz cumpleaños a ti. Feliz cumpleaños, mi querido Ken. Feliz cumpleaños a ti. Happy birthday, my friend.
That was incredible. Whoa, I think I just turned my.
Hey, Ken, should I tell them who was the mystery message guy that told you this way?
Dude, that is so
I love
funny.
you, my friend. I love to talk to you this way. I love to tell you that I want to grow up to be an Oscar Mayer winner. I want to move to the United States and meet my friend Ken Walsh in Marion, Ohio. And I'm going to say to you, cuando caliéntese, porque mis tíos nos invitaron a comer chico en que panquetazo. Y ayer en la noticia día, el entrenador de los Dodgers, Tommy Lasorda, dijo que ellos eran el mejor equipo en todo béisbol, solo porque todos los otros equipos están muy mal.
Oh my God. I heard Tommy Lasorda and Dodgers.
That's all you needed to hear was Dodgers and Tommy Lasorda.
And baseball.
Y baseball.
And that's my brother's favorite baseball team. Look what Susan says. A Guatemalan singing telegram. Oh, that is so funny. Holy crap. I played that at the dinner table tonight, and everybody, and when you said I want to be an Oscar Mayer winner, Abigail lost it. She cracked up. It was so funny.
Oh, well, the whole, there was a joke behind that I didn't explore, which was the idea of an actor that that someday goes on to win the Academy Award, and he's from Central America, and he says, ever since I was a little child, I always wanted to be, listen very carefully, I always wanted to be an Oscar Mayer winner. You see, do you know what Mayor means, Ken?
No.
It means best. So Oscar Mayer winner becomes a bilingual pun. Okay, I'm just saying. I'll tell you, there's no one who appreciated that more than Susan. Because she is a Spanish teacher.
She is?
She is. She teaches Spanish in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Oh, that's where my that's where Weldon lives. He owns a car dealership.
Weldon lives in Virginia Beach?
Yes. And
Weldon, there you and Susan.
Yeah.
Get to know that the other one lives right there in Virginia Beach.
And my nephew who is a huge fan of yours, Glenn. That is Doug, my stepbrother, Doug Walls. he's, he's not my
Go Dodgers.
he,
And
Doug.
so Los Angeles, right? You remember that one? And so Los Angeles, after a rather disastrous road trip with 3 straight losses to the hands of the St. Louis Cardinals, right?
Oh my God!
I
So
always loved the way Vince Scully said disastrous.
my brother's son, which is
Yes.
my nephew, is stationed in Virginia
Norfolk.
Beach in the Navy.
In
Yeah.
Norfolk, probably, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's right there adjacent to Virginia Beach.
He said, my brother said, "OMG," because you're doing is that a Dodgers thing you were doing? Because I have no idea what that was. Hence my lack of
Yes.
really connecting with it.
Well, you seem to be underwhelmed.
I was
After
trying.
rather no, Vince Scully used to always go, and it's the 1-2 pitch. Ooh,
Who's that?
inside, fastball.
Who's Vin Skelly?
No, you did not just ask me that. Vin Scully.
Carolyn Case, thank you.
That's
Thank
my
you.
sweet friend from Salt Lake City, Utah.
Much sweeter than you're being right now.
Well, I've got a little bit of an edge to me tonight, I got to admit.
I know. Oh my God. Oh, Tracy, look.
Everybody remember to wish Ken a happy birthday.
Thank you,
it's not the date anymore on the East Coast, but here in the Central Zone and the Mountain Zone and Pacific Time, people are still going nuts all over our great nation.
So look,
Ken's
he's
birthday.
at the Portsmouth Naval Hospital. Where is that? Is that Virginia Beach? Is that Norfolk? Is it Hampton Roads? Is it Newport News? Is it what? Where is it? I mean, Hampton Roads is what they refer to that whole area as, I believe. I'm not sure, but where is it? Virginia Beach or Norfolk? Because they're pretty far apart.
I got to say, I landed at the Newport News. I landed at that airport, and basically they push the ladder up to the plane, and you walk down the ladder to baggage claim. It's like right there.
Oh,
it's crazy.
Really?
Crazy.
They don't have a terminal that you walk through?
I'm trying to tell the story of it being a very, very small town airport. I loved it. It was great. I had a good time there. And I got to see my long-term friend, Susan. I was there doing...
Tracy is in Detroit. I need to meet Tracy before she goes back to Arizona. Tracy, we need to meet, definitely.
Well, is she driving back to Arizona or flying?
I'm assuming she flew. That is a long drive, dude.
Yeah.
So I remember when I lived in Charleston, West Virginia, we went to this comedy club one night, and I forget who the comedian was, but he was funny. And he says, in Charleston, and you've landed in Charleston, West Virginia, you're literally landing on a mountaintop, right? And it's a tiny, tiny little airport.
And it actually looks like you're crashing into the mountains when you land.
Right. So this guy says, it wasn't so bad. I mean, I kind of felt like we were getting ready to crash, but I wasn't really sure. The airport looked pretty small from where we were. And as we approached and got closer to the runway, I was like, oh God, this is a small airport. Is this runway going to be long enough? He goes, then I didn't get really nervous until I saw a guy out there with a radio control airplane. I was like, oh God, we're going to die. So anyway, it's funny. Yeah,
I believe the name of the airport there, and I'm not looking at any, I'm just trying to go back into my mind. I believe it was called Yeager Field.
Yep.
Yeah, in Charleston. And I've flown to Charleston to see my buddy Alan Skidmore a couple of times, and have spoken at universities in West Virginia. But the last time I went there, Ken, I don't know if I ever told you this. Here's my sweet friend Callie,
Hey,
Um,
Callie.
I don't know if
There's
she's
my
still
sweet
in
friend
Maine.
Anthony.
I don't know if she's still up in Maine or if she's headed back to California. But let me tell you this, Ken. You'll appreciate it. So the
Hold it.
last
Wait,
time
wait, 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 wait. She is named Callie and lives in Cali.
well, yeah, but right now I think she's still in Maine. But yes.
Wow.
Well, I'll
That's
I'll
cool,
take
dude.
things that make sense for 500, please, Alex. I mean, there are people here named Tex, for God's sake. Do you flip out over that?
No,
And
I've
I can't
never met
believe
a
it. The guy's
Callie.
name, like the guy's name is Tex, and he lives in
Dude,
Texas.
but you don't meet anybody named Ohio.
By the
That lives.
way, I just want to explain to you that everybody named Tex, everybody named Tex down there looks exactly like this. What's hey, I'm Tex.
Oh my
Um, Tracy wanted to just say hi. You
Tracy,
know,
love you too.
I'm trying to
Thank
tell
you.
you a story about what happened in West Virginia.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. The
So
stage is yours, Mansoor.
I don't need the whole stage. I want to see your
You
face.
got you got the stage.
I
Go.
want to see your face because I want to see your reaction to this.
Go ahead.
Thank you. It's a birthday story just for you. So I
Okay.
land and I grab my bags and I walk outside. And there is a guy who is covered from head to toe. I'm talking about nose to toes. This guy he's got coal. He's got coal all over his body, which is, that's kind of the way. And I just said, hey, man, he goes, Aaron Pears from 24. Aaron Pears from 24. That's what he said. And I said, how are you, brother? And he goes, can I shake your hand? I said, yeah. I said, are you out here working? He goes, I'm done. I'm finished for the day. I said, well, I don't have anywhere I'm in a hurry to get to. Could I? You look hot. I mean, you look like overheated. You look worn out. And he goes, yeah, it's been a hot one out here. I said, could you use a beverage? Could you use an ice cold beverage? And he goes, yeah, it'd be nice. So I walked him into the airport and I said, what would you like? He said, I'd like a beer. I had the waitress bring him an ice cold beer, and I wound up getting arrested for contributing to the delinquency of a minor. That's an old West Virginia joke right there, brother.
Oh my God, dude. You've told me that one before, actually. That's funny.
Well, thank you for pretending that it was the first time you'd ever heard
I
it.
forgot. I actually had forgotten it, so that was good. It was good to hear it a second. I'll never forget it again.
Hey, Susan, I cannot do that impression tonight.
Which one?
She wants me to do another character that I do, but I'm afraid that I will be it could bring my career to a halt.
Oh.
Although we've been unemployed since March, so what the hell's the difference? But there's a character I do named Louise that I will regale you with. In fact, I'll
Tonight?
do it. Then no.
Why?
No. Just no.
Are you
but I
scared?
will leave it on your answering machine.
Are you scared?
No, I'm smart. There's a big difference.
Oh, my brother. He's just got him. He's just, man, throwing him out there. Susan said, LOL, it's okay. She gets it.
She understands.
So, dude, like, we were on a live stream last night at this time.
Yes.
Welcoming my birthday in. That was fun. And now here we are again. What are we talking about, man? I mean, we've been on here 29 minutes and
I know, and I think it's
Carolyn said you have to respect it when he says no.
It seems it seems like it's probably been true fulfillment for the audience, right?
Can I address this, Carolyn?
Yes, please.
Carolyn, I have to say this. If that was a mutual respect.
You're so bad. I show you nothing but respect. You don't
I
send
have
me
said
flowers.
no. You were born to sell, dude. And because I've said, oh no, I can't. Just jump on. I want just 5 minutes. No, dude, I really can't. No, I want you to jump on. Right, just come here. I just. All right.
We're becoming like an old married couple, aren't we? We haven't even had our 6-month anniversary yet. Do you realize that? We've known each other less than 6 months. You'd never
Is
know
that
it.
crazy,
It's
dude?
crazy.
That seriously is crazy.
You would never know.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
but I originally contacted Chris Roush because I had this. I mean, I'm being really transparent here. I don't know if anyone's in the mood for transparency, but I was really feeling a sadness in my heart. There's no punchline. I was truly feeling a sadness in my heart um, about the fact that there is not widespread hunger for improvement. It's out there for sure. It's out there for sure. But I don't know how widespread it is. And I just had some feelings that were really strong tonight. I'm an empath. I have been my whole life. It's the very reason I became an actor. And so I was feeling that there's such a gap between people as to what we find of value. And Ken, we could stand to add this to our show on Sunday nights, and that's this. And I want to see what the audience thinks of it. You know how we play, oh, that's wrong, right? Ooh, that's wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, how about a slight variation of that? And it's called, you did not just say that. As a game, you did not just say that. Because it seems that a couple of times a week, something will be said, and I'm astounded. I'm not hurt. I'm not offended. I'm astounded. Where I can't believe that traveled through whatever it traveled through and came out without any thought or concern. And I'm not into heavy censorship in life. I like people that speak their piece. But sometimes folks are downright cruel or just thoughtless or hurtful.
Yeah.
When they could just stop. I mean, isn't there something that sort of fires across the synapses that says, there is no gain in that. There's no gain. That is going to cause a divide, or it's going to cause hurt, or it's and I think this is why at the program we teach how to respond instead of how to react. And it's a valid point. And that's, if you really think about it, the distinction between the word respond and react is so significant. It's the very reason we have these medical people who are known as first responders.
Right.
They're not called first reactors. The last thing you want is somebody, when you're in an extreme time of need, you're having some sort of medical emergency that is really, really crucial. You want someone who gets there and doesn't react, but rather they respond. And the only difference between those two worlds is a beat, just a beat, during which an assessment is made and they think, from here, what is my best available response?
What's a beat? What do you mean by a beat?
Meaning a moment, right? They take a beat, just a beat, a moment. And in the performing industry, we refer to it as take a beat. So you just take a beat and assess. And what you're assessing is always the same thing. From here. Instead of coming from where you wish you were, you're addressing things from here. So whether you like here or not, whatever's going on in this moment, if our contribution to it is based on our recognition that it is here and it is what's going on, then I think that that's when we can make our finest contribution to any circumstance. I really believe that.
Yeah.
It is the failure to acknowledge what is that gets us into trouble.
Right.
It's like going in and shouting in a library. That's a failure to recognize what is. And what is you're in a library. And there is an understood and an agreed upon volume that we speak at in libraries. And basically, the only time to break that agreed upon protocol would be if the building were on fire or there was some sort of emergency. And then, of course, you would shout in a library. And hopefully that doesn't seem too far-fetched or too non-linear. But I love when people can assess, just take a moment to assess the situation that they're in and think about what you're getting ready to say. Think about what you're getting ready to do and how can you add value.
Do you have an example of what set this? What was the catalyst? What set this in this whole?
It's not a singular incident, and that's the truth. It's an ongoing thing that I've been recognizing what gets prioritized on the internet, and it is a wee bit disappointing to me that I will see. Yes, it's a CD rack. It certainly is.
Is it really?
It is. And the reason is because it doesn't matter. That's why it's there. It doesn't, it's there and it's beautiful. And I'm sure that once every few years, I'll find something in there that I want to listen to. I guess I haven't spent much time, Ken, in my life keeping up with the Joneses because I don't believe in the Joneses. I think the Joneses are a fictional family that keep people stuck and entrapped into keeping up with a family that doesn't even exist. I think two of the notices we will get on our death day, two of the notices. One is that the Joneses never existed. That'll be the first memo. So all that time and energy you spent on keeping up with the Joneses, for starters, they were a fictional family. They never existed. And then the second memo says, and even if they were a real family, they wouldn't have cared.
Right.
They wouldn't have cared what you were doing. And if you really stop and see, most people are not preoccupied with how you live your life. You think about it. And the reason is they're busy thinking about their lives as they should be. I mean, that to me makes perfect sense. What do you know? People who are busy thinking about their next move instead of being preoccupied with what someone else drove. Or, I mean, are they genuinely blown away? Do we wake up in the morning and our first concern, Ken, is to go to the news to find out what car somebody bought? Am I living on a different planet? For real, am I living on a different planet? Because my caring level is right at 0.
Right.
I don't care. I don't care what designer jeans somebody's wearing. I guess if I did, I wouldn't have a CD rack behind me.
Well, but look, man, I think that there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you and I've joked with you about it, but you drive, you could pay cash for any car on planet Earth that you wanted to drive.
Correct.
Any car, right?
Correct.
But you don't. You don't. I saw Jesse Itzler is the founder, and I'm in one of his mastermind groups. He's the founder of a private jet company that he sold to Warren Buffett. And his wife is the CEO of Spanx, which is she's a self-made billionaire. Mm-hmm. I don't know that Jesse's a billionaire. I mean, by marriage, he definitely is. And she owns 100% of that company. Jesse and Sarah Blakely are two of the most just down to earth. They bought one of those big Sprinter buses because they have all these kids, mm-hmm. and they made it look like the Scooby-Doo van. Like they painted the whole thing's painted like they call it this whatever the Scooby-Doo van is. It's freaking awesome. And that's what they drive everywhere, dude. Like,
Nice.
and
God bless them.
I know he he was holding up a sign on Instagram the other day, and he said, and it basically was that he said, "Stop living your life for the way that you think other people want you to be." And then the next frame in his Instagram story was a sign saying, "Warren Buffett doesn't drive a Ferrari," because he doesn't.
Right.
He doesn't. He drives an old Buick or something, like whatever. Sam Walton died. When he died, he drove an the Mystery Machine. Thanks, Roxy. He drove an old pickup truck. Sam Walton died a billionaire and drove an old pickup truck.
Right.
Because he stopped caring about what other he did. He just didn't care. Like,
right. So here's the thing. It doesn't mean that you're cheap.
Right.
It just means that you might not be basing your decisions on the priorities and concerns of others.
You don't find yourself worth there.
That's 100% true. Because I got to tell you, I've driven in many different cars over my lifetime. I mean, many different.
Have you ever been in a limousine?
I've been in many limos. And here's what I noticed. Whether I was driving my dad's 2000, his 2000 Buick, which I still own because it's something. It's not even out in the garage; it's out in my driveway because I drove it today, and it was really. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. But whether I drove that or I'm riding around in the back of a limousine heading to an award ceremony, what I've noticed is that my penis was the exact same size in both instances.
Oh,
okay. It didn't change anything.
Oh, Lord.
It didn't make me sexy. It didn't make me of greater significance. It's just a mode of transportation. And I didn't make sure that the limos that I've been in my past were seen by so many people so that they could see me get out of one. I have a feeling that people are genuinely preoccupied with their own lives, and they're not really concerned about what kind of car I'm riding around in. So I drove around in Pop's Buick today, but I went out and got under the car because it had been running hot the last couple of times I'd driven it. And here's a simple thing. I thought, you know what? I'm going to check the radiator fluid because it probably just needs a little boost, which it did. And it drank like a hungry man walking in fresh out of the desert.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you wouldn't expect a thirsty person. I said hungry, I meant thirsty. You wouldn't expect a thirsty person to pace themselves if you handed them a canteen. And this car did not pace itself. It was just gobbling up the coolant. And I did that. And I did a few other things to get it ready for its journey. And I cleaned out the air filter. And I spent some time beautifying it, and then reset a switch on it and went out, and this thing drove seamlessly. And I don't know that anyone saw me drive by on the freeway and went, "That's my next car." I don't know that occurred.
Right.
But we had a lovely outing and went and had a lunch and celebrated your birthday.
Wow.
In a 2000 Buick.
You and Carolyn?
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
You want to hear a great little quote? This is something for everyone to hear because it's so freaking true. I've been over here Googling it, looking for it. In your 20s and 30s, you worry about what other people think. In your 40s and 50s, you stop worrying about what other people think. Finally, in your 60s and 70s, you realize they were never thinking about you in the first place.
There it is.
It's the truth, man.
There it is. Wow. Robert wrote a novel.
He loves to write those novels.
So Hyena says, I have a Buick and it won't die. I'll tell you what are great are Hondas. Hondas go for, and Ken just got himself a Honda.
Two.
They're both Hondas. Yeah. They just go, and I guess
Forever.
forever, more so than any brand of vehicle I've ever seen. We have one
Yeah.
Honda, and it's in Los Angeles. We have a Honda Accord in LA.
Yeah, dude. This is I'm gonna.
Doug just said, Doug gave you that was a truth bomb.
Yeah.
What you read.
It is true, man. When you know, and I'm grateful that it didn't take me until my 60s or 70s to realize that people aren't freaking thinking about me, man. They don't care what the hell I'm up to. They're not worried about what I drive.
You know, Robert goes on to say, yes, and if you can understand this early on, this is a great thing. I don't know that truer words have ever been spoken. You know, and here's what's interesting, Robert, and everybody here. What's interesting is that human beings will break their own backs to inconvenience themselves just to keep up with the Joneses. And I'm talking about really put pressure on themselves to possibly, for example, buy things that they can't even afford to buy simply for image preservation. And then they find out nobody was concerned about you. Nobody was preoccupied with your image. And look what you did. You broke your ass in so many ways, and nobody even cared. Nobody was looking.
Nobody was looking.
So it's the equivalent of pulling up a curtain and performing for no one. And really breaking your ass to do it.
And making yourself miserable in the process. Here's that quote. In your 20s and 30s, you worry about what other people think. In your 40s and 50s, you stop worrying about what other people think. And finally, in your 60s and 70s, you realize they were never thinking about you in the first place. It's the truth, man.
Did you add, what are your thoughts about this quote? Because
that just it's screenshotted that.
Because I want to ask our brothers and sisters here tonight what their thoughts are about it. Can you put Robert's line up there? It's a long one.
That one or the other one?
Maybe it's the other one. Yeah, it's a much longer one than that. You want to read that, Ken?
Go ahead, man.
It's your birthday. I would love for you to put a little birthday pizzazz on it.
So you want me to read it? Is that what you're saying?
If you want.
He drives a Cadillac DeVille. I wanted one for a long time, but I'm okay. I had wanted one for a long time. But that one time I happened to be in a place where there were many. They were all sold, but I did walk out signing the paperwork on a blue Seville STS. It fit exactly within the amount I wanted to spend. I finally learned what was meant by that Cadillac ride, which was lovely, unless you hit a pothole, because then it seemed like the whole world was crashing down on you. Oh, Warren Buffett drives the car before the Caddy was a 1994 Civic sedan special edition 5-speed with factory air, 14,395, and I was delighted that it still held the same value after I drove it off the lot. That is so true about Hondas. They hold their value. My brother says you guys stay up way too late, yet the judgmental one is the one typing the comment about us staying up too late. So,
and then there's that. It's so freeing when you stop worrying about what other people think, says Susan. I physically felt the weight lifting off of my shoulders when I realized it.
Yep.
I physically felt the weight lifting off of my shoulders when I realized it. I mean, how vivid is that you actually feel lighter when you give up all concerns about that which never existed in the first place, that it only existed in your own head, and you have been living under the rule of that paradigm as if it were so, which it isn't.
Wait, is Roxy filming a movie?
Well, she says she's on set outside in Texas heat tomorrow. So that means she's going Betty bye.
Is she in the movie? Roxy, are you in the movie?
Yeah, she's a part of something that's being shot.
Wow, very cool.
Probably locally. Roxy,
So
make sure they're following COVID protocols, dear. Make sure you're just being respected and that they're not.
Make sure they're all following the Ken and Glenn show with a guy named Scott. I thought that's where you were going.
Oh, Ken wants you to plug the show for everyone on the set. That's
she's
funny.
a script supervisor. Very cool.
Oh, you are doing Script Soup? It's called Script Soup. Good for you.
Look, I'm on set. I'm acting in my own life.
You know what? That's entirely true.
That is so true. That I don't know if Hyena meant that as a joke or actually meant that, but that is so true.
Hey, can you highlight Carolyn's comment? Go back up a little bit. Yes. I have lived by that wisdom since I was in college and figured the other gals were more worried about what we thought about them. Yeah, so this is a very real situation. We're not bringing up something tonight that no one's ever even considered. Of course, it has been considered by so many, but it is unfortunately prioritized by a lot of folks as though. And just Ken in general, think about how many things are decided upon and lived out as if. That's the criteria, is as if it were real, as if it were true, as if it were so. And then all of a sudden we get a wake-up call and say, yeah, all that stuff you thought was important, yeah, it wasn't.
Right.
And you go, I'm sorry, what? And we hear, yeah, it wasn't. And you go, well, you mean it didn't wind up being? And we hear the infinite wisdom that says, no, it was never important.
Right.
You made it important. And there was no need. And it actually was very costly to you in your life. If not monetarily, it was costly in so many other ways and in such a large capacity. It was very costly. I love listening to Robert's comments. He always says really cool stuff.
I know he does.
He says, yes, once you know this, it also helps build relationships much faster with greater depth that last over time. Here, brother. Wow. Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah, so for example, Ken, here's an example. Ken and I have a brotherly relationship.
We do.
In the healthiest way. And we have not traversed a long period of time together. But we haven't needed time as a qualifier because we entered the friendship transparently. And we led with our hearts. And you get to sort of fast forward in a relationship. I can swear to you that Ken and I leaped forward to a mile marker that normally would take many years to achieve just via the absence of bullshit.
Yep.
How about that? Just the absence of bullshit.
Yep.
And be straight away with one another. It sounds like a lot of people need to go good night, Ken. So, your birthday just ended here in Dallas a few minutes ago. I'm still excited about it.
So am I, man. I think we should just make it a month-long celebration, personally.
Why wouldn't we? You won't see us tomorrow night. That's Sunday. Sunday night, dear.
It feels like Saturday night. In fact, I had to go back and change the title because Glenn pointed out to me, dude, it's Friday night, not Saturday.
You know, when you miss it by one, that's one thing. But have you ever lived all day long on a day thinking it was Saturday and it was like Tuesday? I mean, where you missed
Yeah.
it by as far as you can miss it. And
Yes.
you're going, it felt like Saturday all day.
TK says it's still my birthday in Albuquerque.
Oh,
I
TK.
love, 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 love New Mexico. Love it.
And do you love TK? Or
I
do you
don't
not
know
know
TK.
TK? Well, if you love Albuquerque or you love New Mexico, just imagine that love magnified, which may seem unimaginable to you, but that's how you would feel about TK. She is an angel incarnate.
I can see her aura right there in that picture.
I mean, she is
There
she
is
is a very illuminated woman.
Have you ever
got a
been
beautiful
to,
heart.
Have you ever been to Santa Fe, Glenn?
I have.
So Santa Fe, as you know, then is the streets, and you go down to the square. There's a gazebo. I like to say gazebo. I'm kidding.
Well, you'll lose a lot of friends that way.
A gazebo. There's this beautiful gazebo down in the square, and there's this Mexican food restaurant right there that I ate in, and there's these just art galleries everywhere. I mean, everywhere. It is
That's what
absolutely
Santa Fe is known for.
It's so amazing. It's such a beautiful little town.
That and jewelry.
Yes, and jewelry. Yep.
A lot of jewelry.
A lot of jewelry. Amazing.
Jewelry.
Yeah. Yes. It was one of the most amazing experiences of my life, actually, was right there in Santa Fe. It's beautiful.
TK says Santa Fe, also known as the city different.
The city different. Yeah. It's amazing.
I've never heard that. TK, can you shed some more light on that?
Neither have I. Neither have I.
I think you have to pick up jewelry or artwork when you go to New Mexico.
I used to have, because I bought this painting of this eagle. It was a Native American artist, and it was this eagle, and I forget what the eagle was. It was just so, it was absolutely stunning, and it just meant freedom and power, and it was just amazing. And I don't know where it is. I have no idea. I know it's not in this office. I haven't seen that painting in years. I threw everyone and the dog in the car at lunch yesterday and drove down to my house in Florida. Didn't even tell anyone so I could avoid the COVID speeches. I'm going to bed. Good night, Weldon. Good job, dude.
Good night, dear brother. Have a good time in Florida. How long are you there?
Have fun in Florida, dude. Have fun. We were just there recently. It was a blast. And
I got invited.
You.
I just got invited back to Florida.
You did?
And I have not responded. Yeah. You remember when I did a movie there in January? I showed.
You told me you went over to Tallahassee.
No, I was in Florida twice this year for movies. But no, I went to Orlando to do a movie with my dear friends, Bob and Ginger Cook. And they are actually having a premiere of it coming up at the end of the month in Orlando. And wow. I think that they wanted me to go, but I just, I would drive, but it's a long drive and I would have to get back. I don't want to fly right now. And I've flown a couple of times during the COVID chapter, but right now, just, I've done everything worthwhile in my life based on my gut, Ken. And sometimes I think it's a good idea when we don't really look beyond our gut. Sometimes it's just great when you trust that your gut is enough. And you say, well, okay, you had a gut feeling. What was the feeling? And you go, no, I don't know. I don't know. Something's saying don't do it. And that's your guide. Instead of well, if I can't fully explain it on paper, I need to be able to list 1, 2, and 3 on paper. What if just something within you says don't do that right now?
I listen to that. I think you're a fool if you don't.
Yeah, but it's interesting that it is often not prioritized. Now this is basically our next show You know, hey, there's a good topic for Sunday night is listening to the whisper. That's a big topic. And that's one that I
Yeah.
think a lot of people would have things to chime in about is we all hear them.
Yeah.
We do all hear them. There's now a sharp drop off between those who hear and those who value. So that's the next level, that's the next tier. But then there's the top tier, and those are the ones that obey it.
Yep.
Right? Caroline says that still small voice.
Yeah.
Which is it's been known as that.
It's
since
the
the beginning.
it's the reason I meditate every day of my life, dude.
Say more
that-
on that, please, if you would.
It's the reason I meditate every day of my life. I mean, it's to hear, and you've heard me say this, most people listening have, and that is when we pray, we're talking to God. Most people pray to instruct God on how to do his job because he, needs that help.
Or to file their hit requests.
Right. Right.
Like from the sky.
Right. Like he's Casey Kasem.
Right.
And I pray, and I pray from a place of gratitude rather than a place of
gimme.
Yeah. No, I mean, I try not to. I have those moments, I think we all do. But and then I meditation is listening to God.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, yeah, Carolyn's right. Sometimes it's a still small voice. Sometimes it's a booming voice that says, "Do not get on that plane." Okay. Got it, dude.
And I don't think, if I may, can we at least open this up a little bit?
Sure, of course.
I don't think, to be clear, and this is how I speak with my students at the studio, I don't think it's because something is wrong with the plane. It's not because you feel that there is an issue on the plane, that there is going to be something mechanically unsound about the aircraft, or that you're going to catch a virus on the plane. It's just a knowingness within you that says, and sometimes it's not even the thing, it's the timing. So it could be that getting on a plane is fine. It could be that going to Florida is fine and all that. But that voice is just going, not now. Not now.
Right.
So it's a timing thing that just says this thing you're thinking about doing, there are better times than now. And the problem is if we skip that, because that's a firewall. That's the firewall of understanding. If we bypass that, we will be skipping out on the single most helpful information known to man.
Yeah.
I feel very strongly about that. Like that to me is where my key answers reside.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that I recognize that. But if we bypass that, we are so setting ourselves up for trouble, for chaos, for a hard time, and I'm not talking about punishment, because I don't believe in that. I don't think when we bypass that, there's a ruler that comes out of the sky and smacks us on the butt or the top of the head. I don't believe that.
No.
I just believe that we are all innately gifted with an inner wisdom that knows what is in our best interest, and then it knows very clearly what our next right action is. And we either trust that or we don't. And if we trust it, it's so interesting how things move right into alignment, and life is lived with greater ease. Now, I didn't say that it gets easy. What I said is greater ease, meaning we're now no longer making it harder on ourselves than we need to. Oh, we're getting some more Santa Fe insight?
Yeah. I'm looking for, there is, hang on, I'm Googling something right at this moment. Here it is, Glenn. Have you ever been to the Laredo Chapel?
Laredo.
Laredo,
Where?
sorry.
Where?
Huh? In Santa Fe.
I have not.
I'm going to share this. I've been to this, and dude, you want to talk about a spiritual experience? This will, I don't care what religion anybody is. This is, it's, yes, TK just said it, the miracle staircase. Dude, this is insane. Here is, it is it like this staircase that goes up to whatever that's called, the choir loft or whatever.
Right.
It is an architectural miracle. It should not be standing. There's like, it defeats all of the,
It defies the laws of physics.
thank you. There, yes, you're speaking for me. Here's the website.
It's not Laredo. It is Loretto. Loretto. TTO. I thought you were going to make a Texas reference, like the town of Laredo, but this is Loretto. I've never heard of this. Wow.
Oh, dude, it's incredible. I mean, it's a spiritual. Yes. So here, TK says a traveling, in quotes, carpenter built it with no nails.
You say no nails, TK, but was it built with dowels? Was it made like wooden dowels? Are there no dowels in it either? Because there's some buildings that are made with dowels and they never have any nails.
So check this out. I'm gonna just read through this because it's an amazing story. The story begins in 1850 when, oh man, they're gonna use words that I don't know. Vicariate of New Mexico was established. I don't know if that's right. Blah blah blah. Having recently under Spanish speaking, Mother Superior died. Finally arrived Santa Fe to open their school in 1853. By 1873, the sisters were able to start the construction of the chapel. Our Lady, I'm trying to find the part that's just unbelievable. So they prayed a 9-day novena to Saint Joseph, Saint of Carpenters, blah blah blah. I'm trying to. On the final day of the novena, if I'm saying that right, a carpenter appeared with only a hammer and a carpenter's square. He built what is now known as the miraculous staircase with simple tools and wooden pegs. The rare
yes, the dowels.
Yeah. So listen to this. The rare wood is not native to the American Southwest. When the staircase was complete, it is said the carpenter disappeared without receiving thanks or payment. The sisters tried all local lumber stores but could not find accounts open for supplies for their stairs. Some believe the carpenter was Saint Joseph himself, while others believe that it was someone sent by Saint Joseph. What is known is that the sisters of Laredo prayed and their prayers were answered. The staircase has 2 complete 360-degree turns with no center pole for structural support. The entire weight of the staircase rests on the bottom stair. The banisters were added approximately 10 years later due to the difficulty of climbing the tall tapered stairs with no railing. The 2 small brackets can be seen on the outside connecting the stairs to the wall and pillar were added in the mid 20th century. I mean, dude, this thing is, it's a miracle that it's standing.
But I'm guessing, Ken, that they probably keep tourists the hell off of it.
Oh yeah, you can't go.
I mean, I wasn't saying that in a lighthearted way. I just can't imagine that they would run the risk of damaging it. So it's something you get to observe and take pictures of. But yeah, TK, I will come see that when I see you.
Oh, dude. It's literally it, and I got to go up. They have candles. You can go up, and I guess it's a Catholic thing. I'm not Catholic, but you can go up and light a candle and say a prayer, and it's just an amazing experience, dude. I highly recommend it. So yeah.
You had Donna chime in and say something about it. I guess she was clarifying a word.
Helping me speak English, or I don't even know if that was English.
I love about you, my dear brother. I love that we can sit here and have these exchanges, whether we have 1,000 people watching us live
Yeah.
or whether we have just a couple.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't matter because
Wow.
it's not showy, it's not flashy. We're just being with each other.
That's it.
Oh, your great uncle got to go up the stairs?
He was a Jesuit priest. How cool is that?
Very nice.
They have it roped off. I mean, it's literally roped off, and I believe they have a sniper on standby that if you attempt to move towards the stairs.
Oh, and that's what really makes it a beautiful experience. Just the thought that at any point you could be gunned down.
I'm just kidding. You said
And I said that with a straight out face for you.
that was perfect. Oh, that was perfect, dude. That was
we work with our students about the deadpan delivery. Some of the greatest things ever can be said if you say them deadpan.
she said,
What did Robert say?
stop that. Oh,
TK, you know we're playing. Is Carolyn still here from Salt
we
Lake?
still have look, we have Hyena from over on now. See, I quit Hyena. I stopped
on Periscope.
I stopped Hyena's over on Twitch, and I stopped broadcasting to Twitch for a while because we got some trolls. You may not have seen the comments, but I did, and I was like, but then recently I'm like, let the trolls troll. I'm just going to do it anyway. So, I mean, I have one of the world's most famous Hollywood actors sitting here, and then you also.
Well done, nicely executed.
Did you like that? No, I mean we have
Speaking of nicely executed, stay the hell off the stairs. Or you will be nicely executed.
Oh my God.
Maybe not so nicely. Maybe that was the basis for the song Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, that is so funny. Okay, John Wick. Who's John Wick?
I'm not sure what the reference is to.
And Jack Chase?
Oh, Jack's with us?
Oh, that's Carolyn's husband.
Yes, it is.
Well, hello, Jack.
Oh, they're both there. I didn't know if Jack was still wide awake.
I knew this this guy when I used to go to those meetings in recovery. His name was Jack, and he would say, "Hey, everybody, my name's Jack, and I'm an alcoholic." And everybody would say, "Hi, Jack," and he'd say, "Don't say that in an airport." Except for he had the really, really thick New York accent.
I've always wondered if there could be some additional 12-step groups that are not often spoken about, like insincerity. No, think about that. Like, Anon, insincerity Anon. And everybody was like, "Hi, my name's Glenn, and I've been working on insincerity." And that's how you identify yourself at a meeting.
Oh my God.
I thought about creating, since I love to be rather verbose, I thought that maybe I should join a program called On and On and On. For people who talk too much. Come on, that's pretty funny. On and on and on.
Oh my dear Lord, that's hilarious. Here. I like what
did Robert bestow some more wisdom on us?
Look, keep on and on and on. That's funny. Oh, that is so funny. And he doesn't know Jack. That's funny.
What did
Robert
Robert
says, back when you read this one. I read the last book.
All my divorce stress was leaving me via spontaneous humor. When I did the station stop announcements on the subway in Toronto, I would deliver them with my face hidden by the cab, then lean out with a blank face. And those people that came up to me to ask me if the operator driving the train was okay.
That's funny.
Oh, it's great. So you drove the subway in Toronto, Robert? You're my first subway driver that I've actually gotten to
Wait,
know.
I'm trying to see. So he's then lean out. After my divorce was leaving via spontaneous humor when I did the station stop announcements on the subway.
So he
Wow.
said he would lean out with his face hidden from the cab,
Oh,
by the cab.
so he means like the front cab or whatever. Is that what that means?
So then people would come up and ask him if the operator driving the train was okay.
Do you know I've never been on a subway? Like I've never.
Wow.
I mean, when I lived in Pittsburgh, they have the train. They call it the T, but it's
Right.
not. It's not. It's not really. There's like one little underground thing to get over to Station Square, and that's it. That's not really a subway.
Take you to New York this year to
I-
give you that experience?
I've been to New York. I
But
drove.
you didn't take the subway.
I drove into Manhattan. Like I literally drove my car from Ohio to New York City.
So you went through one of the tunnels? Did you go through the
I
Lincoln
did.
Tunnel?
Oh yeah, the whatever tunnel. Yeah,
Lincoln or Holland Tunnel?
Lincoln. Holy mother of God! Like there's a checkpoint, Charlie. There, like you have to stop for to pay the toll or whatever, and they legit want you to pay that toll. They aren't kidding. So like like I gotta tell you this story. It's
Isn't that
funny.
the premise of all tolls?
No, but
I
listen,
don't
this
think
is
it's a
funny
suggested
story.
donation, Ken. I think it's a requirement that you pay the toll
Well,
or you don't go through the
apparently.
tunnel.
And listen, man, the people in Manhattan, everybody was so nice. I loved the energy. It was amazing. And I had a 20 out. I'm ready to pay the freaking toll. And they're like, no, we'll bill you. Go. And I'm like, all right, there's only 6 trillion freaking cars trying to get into this one little tunnel. And it took, I don't know, 30 minutes to get around this little curve just to get to the guy collecting the money who wasn't actually collecting money this day. We're taking a picture of your plate. We'll bill you. So I'd never got a bill. I didn't get a bill. And so then I get a bill, demanding bill saying, hey, it was going to be $22 or whatever, but since you didn't pay it, it's an additional $200. Fine. I'm like, you guys are on crack. So I call this guy. I go, I never got the first bill. This is the first bill I've ever gotten. And it says I'm late. And this was 2 weeks, 3 weeks after I'd been there. Like, how could that be late? Anyway, so I get this and I call the guy and I'm like, dude, I'm not paying your stupid $200 fine. I'll pay the 24. He's like, no, you have to pay the 224 or whatever it was. And I said, that's not happening, dude. Monkeys will fly out of your ass before I pay that $200 fine. And he's like, you have to, or you can buy an easy pass. That's like $80 or something. And then we'll waive the fine. And I go, what? What's an easy pass? What do you mean? He goes, oh, so you just, anytime you come through, it's automatic. We just bill you and and you get a discount. And I'm like, I've driven to New York one time in my life. And after I got the hell out of there with my life, I said, I will never drive to New York again. So the odds of me ever needing your easy pass are 0. I will never need it. So let me pay the $24 and let's both have a great day afterwards. And he said, no, it's $24 plus 200. I said, dude, get your supervisor. He goes, I don't have one. I said, you have a supervisor. Get your supervisor. I don't have one. I don't have a supervisor. If you're not going to pay the $200 fine and the $24, we can make sure that you're arrested the next time you come to New York. I said, I already told you I'm not driving in New York again. So I'm going to just take a lifetime chance on this. And you can take that $200 bill and stick it where the sun does not radiate on your body. Goodbye. And I hung up and I never paid it. And he's watching right now. I never paid it.
And he's a massive fan of the Ken and Glenn show with a guy named Scott. Watches us every Sunday night. And he goes, "Hey, listen, let me tell you something about that guy. Let me tell you something about him. All right,
Oh, dude.
$24. He can't even pay it on time." Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
had I known where to pay it, I get these from Pennsylvania. If I'm over in PA, I pay them immediately. Got a notice today about something where I had to send to the car dealership for the car I just bought. Took care of it. But the guy in New York, dude, the toll guy was a jack wagon. I mean, he was a jack. Anyway,
wag.
I was like, dude, who peed in your cornflakes today? Like, this is terrible. Do you know what customer? You need to take Scott McCain's course, bro, on on creating the ultimate customer experience, because I'm not having one.
Somehow, I'm not thinking that the guy that is collecting tolls for the Lincoln Tunnel really cares about your expanded and enhanced experience. He's like, dude, you're holding up the line. Go. That's the extent of it. Welcome to New York.
I tried to pay it, but they wouldn't take my cash. They said, we'll bill you. I tried to pay the bill on the first time I get a bill that had a fine attached to it. Whatever. So anyway, make sure you join us on the Ken and Glenn show with a guy named Scott.
So that we can regale you with more of these stories.
Dude.
It's funny.
People are strange, man. People are strange. Like, it's such a cliche, man, but it really doesn't take anything just to be nice, man. It costs nothing.
And we're strange.
Zero.
You said people are strange. We're strange.
We are.
To somebody.
Absolutely.
I'm sure
most people probably.
I'm sure that there are people who could listen to our program and go, those guys are nuts. I'm sure somebody has that experience,
Most people probably. I mean, if we're real. But hey, you know what? That's all right.
There's probably somebody who can't wait to call you and go, Mr. Walsh, yeah, I'm the supervisor from your toll incident. I realize it's been a couple of years, sir. Listen, we just called today to tell you to go pound sand up your ass. Yep.
Right.
Sure.
Oh,
we are weird.
$2,000.
We are weird. Robert says life is too short not to be kind at all times. Here, and these are the people that I want to spend the rest of my dance with. To be honest with you, the Robert Brookers of the world.
Yep.
Anyone who holds that posture regarding the simplicity of being kind.
Yeah.
Because it's actually quite easy.
It really is.
It takes more effort to be difficult than it does to be nice. And I don't want to waste any more time trying to offer an unsolicited education.
No.
So why don't you offer us that quote about is of the same opinion still?
A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still.
One of my favorite quotes. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. That's why our show has never been about attempting to persuade. And anyone who thought that, that's been a misinterpretation. We just share. We share ideas, thoughts, feelings, strategies.
Have you ever heard the I-95 asshole song?
I haven't, but will you, before you get into that, would you repeat slowly? A man convinced against his will. I love the quote, and I would love it to land for everyone.
A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still.
What that's really saying is that you can expect a very low success rate when delivering an unsolicited education. Because if what you're saying is against somebody's will, it's not going to be retained. They will be of the same opinion still.
They
So
will.
we got to
Yep.
select our spots and make sure that there is a hunger there, a yearning there, a wanting there.
Yep.
And on the backside of that, there can be a breakthrough when someone wants it. But what were you going to say, Buck?
I just was wondering if you'd ever heard that song. It's a funny song.
The what?
The
95?
I-95 asshole song.
Oh, no, referencing the freeway? I-95?
Do you want to hear it?
Oh.
I,
Do you know it or you going to play it?
I'll
Are
pull
you
it up.
singing it live or you're playing it off the internet?
I hope I don't. Well, let me state this. Let me just say this before I play it, in case there is a copyright on this. I do not own the rights to this song. I do not own the rights to this song. Just want to make that very, very clear. Zeke Willett is no, that's not even. I
You're
don't.
giving credit. That's good.
This might be one of those.
Robert's asking if it's similar to Dennis Leary's song titled the same.
I don't know.
Are we down to you, me, and Robert at this point?
No, we have 12 or 13 people in here.
Oh, that's nice. Well, thank you all for being hardcores and
Yeah.
hanging with us. We so appreciate you, each
So
of you.
I'm going to share my
Oh,
screen.
Matthew. There it is. So it
Yeah.
is a reference to Interstate 95.
It is. Yep, it is. I'm going to. I don't know. And listen, I don't know who owns the rights to this. I just want Facebook to know that I do not own the rights to this song. Okay, so here we go. They may shut us down for this. I don't know, but
Well, it's time anyway, if they do.
that's right. So here we go. Let's do this.
Well, I was driving down I-95 the other night, and somebody nearly cut me right off the road. I decided it wasn't going to do any good to get mad, so I wrote a song about him instead. It goes like this. Were ye born an asshole, or did you work it your whole life? Either way, it worked out fine, 'cause you're an asshole tonight. Yes, you're an A-S-S-H-O-L-E, and don't you try to blame it on me. You deserve all the credit. You're an asshole tonight. You were an asshole yesterday. You're an asshole tonight. And I've got a feeling you'll be an asshole the rest of your life. And I was talking to your mother just the other night. I told her I thought you were an asshole. She said, yes, I think you're right. And all your friends are assholes, 'cause you've known them your whole life. And somebody told me you've got an asshole for a wife. Were you born an asshole, or did you work it your whole life? Either it went worked out fine. Cause you're an asshole tonight.
Oh my God.
I know Facebook's gonna like hit me with a copyright.
Well, you know, I have heard historically that when you and I get together, that people feel like they've been taken to church, and I think that trend ends tonight. I think you just brought it to an abrupt halt. I can picture my friends Carolyn and Jack right now going, "What? What?
What did we just watch?
What are they doing? Why?"
Look, Donna's applauding. So,
Oh, Donna's applauding. Well, good for Donna.
You know,
If Carolyn can somehow applaud that, then I'm going to feel so warm inside. But if not, I'm going to spend the next couple of weeks trying to repair our relationship.
oh my God, dude. It's here's the thing, man.
You know what?
Sometimes
It's your birthday, Ken. You can do whatever you want, man. You can put on any song you want. If you feel that that is the best way to wind down this live feed, then, you know, more power to you. Happy birthday.
Scott said we're all in shock tonight. Oh, actually we agreed. So
You agreed? Whoa, wait a minute. You agreed? You agreed? Cool. Well, wait a minute. You agreed. Say more about that, Carolyn, please. You agreed that what? That there is that prototype out in the world?
There's that kind of person.
Of course. I mean, I agree, but it's
the guy, look, dude, that was a bait and switch. He's like, buy my easy pass and we'll waive the fees. We'll waive the fines. Like, I have no need for your easy pass.
I live in Ohio.
Right. And I already said,
at some point, did you say, hey, I live in Ohio?
Of course. And you know, I mean, it was like, dude, you don't have to be and that word, you don't have to be that. Like, just be nice, man. And I just immediately said to the guy, have you ever heard the I-95 asshole song?
That's funny.
I didn't.
So do you think that assholes find value in being that way?
Yes.
Okay. I don't disagree, but I am going to ask you what is the perceived value?
That's I-95 for us. She knows.
So what is the perceived value? Because if
about
I'm anything other than loving to someone, I'm speaking my truth. Yeah. It bothers me. Now I don't walk around being ugly to people. I really don't. I don't let people have it because I'm in a mood. And I suppose I'm blessed. I'm not bragging. I'm blessed. This is something I'm very grateful for, Ken, which is that my mood tends to be one of ongoing celebration. I'm not happy Monday and I want to kill somebody Tuesday and Wednesday. I cruise through life at a much more even level than that. But there is something in me that disallows me being ugly to someone. I'm talking about intentionally ugly to someone.
Right.
And that mechanism is not in operation in everyone, for sure. That doesn't mean they don't have it, but they're certainly not paying any attention to it, because some people seem to really enjoy making life rough for others.
Exactly. But you don't have to partake in their crap.
No, but why?
I don't know, maybe their mother was nasty to them, or who knows, man. It's their programming. But if you would have been on the phone with the con man Vinny, the guy trying to steal my $200 in New York for over a $24 toll. And he was like, no, you're buying an easy pass or you're paying the $200 fine, and you hadn't received another bill prior to that. You would have been like, dude, I'm just trying to work this. I literally, you know me, dude. I'm just like, hey man, I'm happy. Let's work this out, like, and that Vinny was having no part of that.
Right.
He was that edgy, I don't know, man. Like so I think that
if it was a FaceTime call, it probably would have included you going, make me.
I probably only would have had one finger up though on each.
Something mature that would be the equivalent of that.
With one finger
Bet
up.
You can't make me. You remember that? You remember that as kids when you're like, bet you can't make me.
Right.
You can't make me. It's
yeah.
funny. Kindness is a choice, says Donna.
It is.
It is. Let me put an and on that. Isn't it kind of a natural choice? It is a choice. I agree with you, but isn't it a choice that's rather easy to make?
For most people, for people like you, for people like me, for people like Donna. Yes. For people like Carolyn and Jack and Robert, yes.
Robert says he found the video so entertaining because he could see himself in parts of it. Hopefully not the dude going over the cliff. What a shot that was. I started thinking about the cinematography involved in that shot. I mean, they just held perfectly center frame as this thing continued falling, and it just missed the rocks and barely landed in the ocean below, but it was really well done.
I love that, Carolyn. You're right. It seems
you're referring to kindness, I guess.
Yes.
Seems to be the path of least resistance and the most gain. Yes, my dear. And this is why you and Jack are primary in my heart, because we're on the same page with that.
And in a lot of circles, it's the road less traveled as well. Kindness is
that's tragic.
Well, it is
the road less traveled
in a lot
or
of.
We could be kind, which seldom people choose this road, but it's certainly an option. Wow, that's
I mean, and I'm not being cynical, but maybe I am a little bit, but I mean, I'm 52. I'm crotchety now.
Well, George Carlin says if you're not a cynic by your 40th birthday, you're an idiot.
Right.
Yeah, he did.
I know. But I think that the world needs more kindness. And I'm not talking about Pollyanna pushover stuff. I refused to be a pushover with old Vinny. First off, after he got so aggressive, I was like, I'm not trusting giving this guy my credit card number now. No way.
Oh, no way.
No.
Because you're paying that fine if you do that.
Well, not just that.
Sure.
He could go on a shopping spree over on make his own Miracle on 34th Street.
Right. Right. Well, that's smart.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I think that that there's kindness is something that I practice in about everything I do. There are times when Charles.
Hello, crotchety.
Hello, crotchety and Glenn. That's funny. Charles has no voice right now, but he sent me a video for my birthday, and he wrote out the happy birthday song in a marker on multiple cardboard or pieces of paper. I think it was like some kind of cardboard thing, and he was like holding, and then he'd take one away, and then at the end he
Did Charles have some kind of surgery or something?
I'm not sure what the challenge is with his voice at the moment.
Because I know what it means to have 7 days where I had to write everything on a whiteboard because I had vocal cord surgery.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that was not fun. It's not the kind of thing I would say sign up for if you have other options.
Yeah, no, that doesn't sound like.
Let me read Robert's thing again. But I was very grateful. I read that book at 20. It was primarily about delayed gratification, something that I had learned from my grandpa while going on sales calls with him. Yeah. Yeah. I had, by the way, Ken, what was called a hemorrhagic nodule, meaning that I had a nodule on my vocal cords that was bleeding internally.
Geez.
And it's from overuse. They're very common with singers, very common with ministers, very common with actors, and very common with speakers. And probably speakers, ministers, and singers all well beyond actors. But I'm an actor who is also a speaker. And so, and I've been known, as you know, to be rather emphatic. And actually, this one happened on a roll. And then I wound up having, I think, 2 films that followed the bursting. And I actually felt it when it popped.
Oh.
And it was not pretty. And I sound like this. And if you ever want to rent the movie, The Men Who Stare at Goats, you will hear me sounding like this. And I'm not just hoarse. That's the only voice that was available to me.
Oh my God.
And I called Carolyn. It was very scary, as you can imagine. It's just, you know, to have a vocal cord issue as an actor is like having a broken leg as a horse. It's just not. It's not what you want. Oh, Christy. Hi, Christy.
Love
so
her.
It's not something that you want. It's kind of worst case scenario.
Yeah.
And you have to be very careful of who you get to do it. Well, mine would have required about a year of quiet, which was just not an option. Or you could have it surgically addressed. And this guy was the best of the best in Los Angeles. We knew that he was the best of the best because back many years ago, when the Pope was having issues, and our daughter was dealing with a medical condition, we got word that he was the best in town. And then while she was in the hospital in recovery, we looked up and it was her doctor, her surgeon, same guy that worked on me a few years later.
Wow.
Was being interviewed and gave all the scoop on what the Pope was dealing with regard to his thyroid.
Wow.
And I thought, okay, it appears we have chosen the correct person. And I really have Dr. Line is his name out of Los Angeles. I have Dr. Line to thank for the full restoration of my voice. And
That's
God knows I've used it a lot since. That surgery was in 2009. And it's interesting. He performed the surgery and said, no talking at all for a week, and you'll come in and you'll examine and I'll see if you can make some sounds at that point, and we'll look down your throat. And he did. And he said, Glenn, I have some very good news for you. We're going to talk in just a minute. And I'm smiling. I don't want to blow this out of proportion, but I got to tell you, I was really emotional. Like, I'm talking about tears on both sides. Tears on the front side of what this could potentially mean, because some of these surgeries are botched. And then the other was tears on the backside when I heard the sound of my own voice after a week, and it was stronger than it had been in years. And what he said was, he said, you're a good healer, my friend. He said, if I didn't know that you had had surgery, which I do because I did it, he said, you have zero evidence of having had vocal cord surgery.
Wow, dude.
In 7 days.
Wow.
And just thank you, God, is all I can say is thank you, God, that my body restored itself. And that night, I was on a stage in front of 1,200 people.
Oh, my God.
Now, I wasn't the only speaker. I was one. It was a big thing for 24.
Yeah.
And he said, depending on this exam today, will determine whether or not you're going to be greenlit for tonight's speech.
Wow.
And I was crying en route to the stage as I looked out at all those people who there is a chance I would not have been able to speak to. And I'm very grateful. Voice box and vocal cord problems. Voice box has moved up in my throat. Originally 8 months of speech therapy. So what is being done about it, Charles? Did you have a surgery? Is it simply speech therapy? What is happening? It's moved. I didn't know that a voice box could move.
Neither did I.
Mine was even stronger after surgery. Wow. And I think it's because it had been building before it hemorrhaged. So it's not like it was fine and then pop, it wasn't. So I'm sure that it had been forming on there.
Yeah.
And then when it went, so by lasering it off, which is what they do, and it's pretty funny because they tell you now, sometimes the rag that's in your mouth, sometimes your throat catches on fire. That was comforting.
Good Lord.
Yeah, because they're using these very, very hot lasers to cauterize it, right? To remove it, slice it away, and then cauterize it. It's amazing stuff that they can do. And I looked at the surgery before I had it done, and it was like, okay, so I can't even think about this. I have to just trust.
Wow.
But we wish you, Charles, the very best. Speech therapy because of COVID. So if COVID were not present, would they have done surgery, Bud?
Wow.
Would they have done that? Just know that you're in our hearts and prayers, my friend.
He's a man. He's a great dude. Great dude.
How thoughtful of him to go the extra mile and hold up those things since he couldn't really talk.
Oh my gosh, he did. That was amazing.
So that's evidence of what kind of man Charles is.
He's a good dude.
And Bud, that's why we call our course the Extra Mile. It's all about doing more in a given situation than would typically be done.
Is Corey Calvin on here? Corey is the dude that you met, that friend of mine.
Oh, I know.
Pilot. You know Corey? You remember Corey?
Yes,
Corey is amazing. He's been flying all over the dang countryside in a private jet with some other friend of his that has this beautiful jet.
Well, it hasn't been me because I've been busy driving a 2000 Buick.
Yeah. Hey, Corey, thank you, dude. Appreciate that, man. Man, I'm about
Let's go good night. Let's go good night. I know your look when you're tired, and I am ready to go eat dinner at 1 a.m.
It's 2:00 here. So thank you to everybody for the amazing wishes.
Thank you all, and we are going to look forward to spending time. There's something I may have to deal with. No growth, just strain. Good. Keep us posted, Charles, and God bless. Carolyn said it's no longer your birthday there in Salt Lake City. Love you guys. Happy birthday. So we look forward to spending our Sunday evening with those of you who come see us. TK, I don't know if you're aware of this, but we do a show every Sunday evening called the Ken and Glenn Show. A guy named Scott. It's on at 6 p.m. your time, Mountain Time. And we're on at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. And we've been doing it a long time now, several months. And we got into it really to just give people an alternative to the depression of overwhelm from sensory deprivation, in all honesty. COVID sensory deprivation.
Yeah.
Crotchety, they're wishing you a happy birthday.
Charles. That's funny.
You know, the reality is the changes that COVID brought about, I'm going back now to March.
Yeah.
Were collectively a lot to deal with and obviously unbearable for many who lost their dreams, their businesses, everything, and to a lesser extent to others. But certainly change for everyone because the world changed. So even if we're feeling the same, for those of you who feel largely unfazed, the world around us has still changed. So I believe it's affected to a lesser or greater extent everyone. and some have been completely decimated
Yeah.
by it. And I think it's important to recognize that no matter how peacefully you have sailed, any of you, through the last several months, there are many who have not. Many who have not.
Thank you, TK.
And we started this program
On
to
Sunday.
reach human hearts. Well, even before the Sunday night show, the one we did for about a month where we were doing it almost nightly,
Yeah.
was just to give people a chance to get their mind on something else. And if they had thoughts they wanted to share, then they'd bring them forth, and that mutated into a show.
And we started doing that in March.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the show became official in April, whatever Easter Sunday was.
I've had my show for 2 years and almost 2.5 years now. It's crazy, man.
How many interviews have you done? I know it's hundreds.
250 or so celebrities and entrepreneurs. It's
That's
amazing.
beautiful.
Amazing.
All right. Well, take us out in a big way, Ken. Or is it just a simple good night?
It's a good night. I don't have a big way left in me, dude. I'm tired. Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Ken, I love you, brother. Happy birthday.
Don't hang up on me, dude.
All right. Good night, guys. See you Sunday.